Hey, everybody, this is Father Joey,
And I'm Deacon Jeff.
and we're here with another episode of Coffee and the Lectionary.
Luke chapter 12, verses 49 to 56. I came to cast fire on earth, and would that it were already kindled. I have a baptism to be baptized with, and how great is my distress until it is accomplished. Do you think that I have come to give peace on earth? No, I tell you, but rather division. From now on, in one house there will be 5 divided, 3 against 2, and 2 against 3. They will be divided, father against son, and son against father, mother against daughter, and daughter against mother, mother-in-law against her daughter-in-law, and daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. He also said to the crowds, when you see a cloud rising in the west, you say at once, a shower is coming, and so it happens. And when you see the south wind blowing, you say, there will be a scorching heat, and it happens. You hypocrites! You know how to interpret the appearance of earth and sky, but why do you not know how to interpret the present time? The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise you, Lord Christ. Thank you, Deacon Jeff. I wanted to hold that in contrast with John 14, where Christ says, "Peace and this is verse 27, peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. Not as the world gives, do I give to you. Let not your hearts be troubled, neither let them be afraid." And so, we have a little bit of a seemingly contradiction. Does Christ come to bring peace or not?
Right.
And so what we're left with is these two stories. So what are your thoughts?
Well, as it happens, I chalk this up to the Holy Spirit. I just happened to have been reading this week a book from um, Crossway Ministries by Dane Ortland called Gentle and Lowly, at the Heart of Christ for Sinners and Sufferers. And the chapter that I just happened to finish last night was talking about something that I think somewhat applies to this, and that is we're comfortable thinking about Jesus' emotional life when it comes to him being merciful and graceful and
Mm,
loving, um, but we're not so comfortable with Jesus when he's angry.
yeah,
And we have to understand that his emotions take the full spectrum, and our emotions are a shadow of his. His are not tinged with sin,
right.
but he still has emotions: anger, jealousy, love, rage.
Yeah.
But the difference between him and us is that there is no sin in any of it. The other thing that really struck me, there's a chapter in this book about the emotional life of Christ. We often de-emphasize the fact that when Christ rose, he didn't stop being a man.
Yeah, that's right.
He didn't become some ethereal spirit again. He is still always human, and he's still always God.
Yeah.
And so, but I think we have a tough time dealing uh, with the angry Jesus, with the Jesus in the temple,
Right.
or we sort of we think, oh, that's out of character. He's normally such a loving guy, but that's not really true. And when you think about it, it makes sense. We are flawed and we're fallen, and yet if somebody threatened one of our children, we'd be very angry.
Yeah.
Um, and so, how must he feel when we're hurt and we're threatened? Well, he's angry, and I think there's a bit of that in these verses that he's preaching, where he's talking to the Pharisees who have done so many things wrong, and I assume that's who he's talking to when he's saying, you can interpret the sky, but you can't even
Right.
interpret the present times, because he's angry
Yeah.
at the harm that they've done to his flock.
Yeah. Yeah, I think those are all good points. And I think we have to remember that the peace that Christ does come to bring is not the same as what we might consider peace. We tend to think of peace as a lack of conflict.
Hmm.
doing so, sometimes we make a false peace in this world. But the peace that Christ gives is so much greater and so much bigger than simply just a lack of conflict. And you're right, Christ can be angry, and Christ shows the whole spectrum of emotions, yet none of that is tinged by sin. And so when he talks about, in this instance, I haven't come to bring peace, but a sword to divide. He's not talking about heavenly peace. He's talking about the false peace of this world. And he's right. If we follow him, there is division. If we follow him, there will be some, even mothers or brothers or sisters or fathers that we will end up not in accord with. But that's not a bad thing,
Right.
because in order to see his peace brought to this world, we have to make sure that we're standing firm in truth. And sometimes the truth of Christ divides. Well, thanks, everybody. We hope that you enjoyed this coffee and lectionary. We'll be seeing you on Sunday with a visit from Bishop Frank. Until then, we'll see you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.